good referrals we want to generate in this group for them. So today we've got Chris, and next week we have Naila, and I will be putting out the remainder of January and into February during the this during goodness, couldn't think there, on the Facebook page, so that we can get ourselves prepared. So I'm just about to stop the share. Chris, do you want to take that over and you can start your presentation? And I believe Eric is recording it. So let me tell you a little bit about Chris while he's doing that. Chris is an independent financial advisor in the Greater Boston area in the US. He has been in the financial services industry for more than 11 years, acting as a consultant to international top 10 banks and individual financial advisors for more than 9 years before transitioning into becoming an advisor himself over 2 years ago. Chris has a passion for educating people on how the financial services industry can benefit them in the long run, and how you may be able to add value to your clients by leveraging Chris's service. So, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Shea, financial advisor, your 10 minutes starts now.
Thank you, Mandy. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well, enjoying their new year. Chris Shea, independent financial advisor, as Mandy said. Happy to be here. Hoping to help everybody out in the short term and the long term. I've been talking a little bit about the personal stuff that I do, and I'm going to get to that a little bit. But I want to start because I've talked a lot ever since I've gotten here about how I believe in educating people first. And every one-on-one that I've had with people in coaching session, it's always been about educating people about money, because the thing that I found when I was doing my consulting work way back when was that the people that had the best clients and had the best businesses were the ones that had the most educated clients on how money works. So in front of you, you can see a long list of presentations that I do for businesses or for public consumption. Going to be doing these presentations on a weekly basis starting this Friday. So look for those invites on either LinkedIn right now or my Twitter account and or in your inbox. And you can invite anybody to these. And there's subjects that we're going to go through a little bit here that are basic elements of just how money works. And it's just strict education on why these things are important for people and what they need, why they should be part of their lives. Right, so money matters. We're going to be talking a little bit about that, but essentially that's basics of what money is, what money does, why you need to do things. Another one on there is understanding credit reports and scores. It's a black hole for a lot of people. They have no idea how it works. Again, just a little bit of education. Home ownership. Everyone talks about it. Everybody wants to own a home. There's a lot you got to do to be able to own a home. Financial planning basics. What is financial planning? People hear a lot about these things, a lot about these topics, and they want, what I bring is an ability to give an unbiased facts, not opinions. Because when you watch television commercials, they talk about their investment tools and investment products. They're usually slanted to what makes that home office company money, which may or may not be in the best interest of the person talking to that organization. That's one of the reasons why I like to be independent, because I actually get to do whatever is in the best interest of the person that I'm talking with. So I can walk them through wherever they're at, help them to get wherever they want to go. So, as I said, there's a lot of presentations here, and I'm just going to run through a little bit because it is very full of ideas. So, start off setting your goals, financial planning basics. You got to know what you want to get out of life in order to be able to get it. Do you want the big house? Do you want the car? Do you want to be a business owner that's successful? How do you manage your business finances? This works for businesses as well. Credit cards. Do you want them? Do you need them? How do you want to use them? And then obviously in the bottom right-hand corner, that retirement of living on the beach and just having a nice life. How do you get there? You've got to be able to plan for it. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Also go through with people what are SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. If people don't have SMART goals, they're not going to succeed. There are a lot of people on here that do a lot of things for people. Mandy talks about how she can help people with their health, but they've got to still have SMART goals around that, right? There are business consultants that are on here. Your clients have to have SMART goals. So we talk about that when we do these presentations, writing down and prioritizing them. Okay. Retirement starts early. I just give information here. Pretty basic. You start off when you're 20, saving $3,000 a year. At the age of 65, you'll have $700,000 almost. If you start when you're 35, you'll have 255, and if you start with 45, you only have 120. Time is not on your side. Time if you start late, but if you haven't started, just educating people on the fact that you've got to start now. Emergency fund. This is one of the things that we've seen really go awry here in America, particularly in the pandemic, but throughout the world. People don't have enough money saved in their bank. One of the most interesting statistics I've heard is that America, one of the leading financial companies in the world in terms of our economy, the average American has under $1,000 in savings pre-pandemic at any given point in time. The average Chinese citizen has 6 months to 2 years of money sitting in their savings account. They are prepared for when an emergency happens. And an emergency doesn't necessarily just need to be a pandemic. Recently talked with a personal client, and we were going over their insurances and figuring out which ways to pay for it. And they were shocked when their annual payment for their plan was $1,900. If they paid biannually, as in 2 payments, it was more like $1,980. If they paid quarterly, it was $2,100. And if they paid monthly, it was $2,020 or something like that. They were shocked that they actually paid interest for their insurances for the privilege of not paying at a one-time basis. Quickly educated them on the fact that if you had an emergency fund set aside of $5,000 or $10,000, you could pay off that full $1,900, and then instead of paying the insurance company that interest, you could pay yourself that interest. It's a way to leverage it and not lose more money for yourself. So all these things kind of play hand in hand. Okay. The emergency fund is very important. I go over insurances with people: health, auto, life, property, disability, long-term care. One thing I probably got to add here is legal, due to our legal shield experts. But what is insurance? It's essentially taking the risk out of your pocket and putting it into someone else's pocket. Insurance stinks. You hate to talk about it. Nobody likes to pay for it. But when you need it, it's really great to have it. Anybody that's been in an auto accident, you know that you're covered. Property insurance, it's a terrible thing, but when something bad happens, you're able to take advantage and leverage other people's putting into that amount. Investing. People get confused about what investing is. I just talk about what stability, income, and growth are. Some people want stability, some people want income, depending upon where they're in life, and some other people want growth. So I talk to people about the different ways in which they can do this and help people to get what they want. Okay? You can't have everything. You got to pick and choose what's your priority. And I got that slide on there twice somehow. Then at the end of every one of my presentations, I always ask a question. Do you have any questions? What do you want to know more about? If we can answer those questions in a journal format in our presentations, we do that, because usually what I've found with adults, more so than with children, is adults are afraid to ask questions simply because they're embarrassed because they don't know things. Hi, I've done that. I've failed to ask questions because I've been embarrassed. I'm no longer embarrassed. I'll ask whatever questions it is because I know that there's more in the world that I don't know that I don't know, that I do know that I know, or that I know that I don't know. So I'll start asking questions. I'll bring it up. It's a good way for people to learn more about what other people are thinking and fearing potentially to get a better understanding. And if people ask a question that's very personal, I'll say that's a very personal question. I'll answer it generally in terms of the theory around it. But if you have a very specific thing, I'll say, let's talk about this afterwards because I'm a fiduciary and I need to make sure that I keep your information as your own and I don't share it with the general public. So with that, that's a lot about what I do. And based upon my last slide, I'm going to open up now to questions, comments, concerns. And if you got any cheap shots, you can take those, but I will fire back.
Guys, we've got enough time for a couple of questions. So Chris is looking to answer some, so let's give him the pleasure.
Real quick comment. I will say I just said to my son, my 18-year-old son, literally yesterday, Chris, you don't know what you don't know. And he gave me a look and I said, yeah, think about that for a second. So when you said that, you're right. Don't be afraid to ask questions because we don't know what we don't know. Great presentation, Chris.
Chris, yeah. Obviously a lot of us might be out of state or out of country. How can we help you connect with some power partners that will be helpful for you? What would we say and what type of power partners?
So that list of presentations that I had at the beginning, those are all presentations that I'm a member of the Association of Financial Educators. And I can give those presentations to companies at no charge to the companies, to their employees, because the employees bring three things to work with them every day: concerns about their health, concerns about their relationships, and concerns about their money. And employees that have less concerns are better employees. So if you have people that you know in the States that are HR people, those would be people that would be great referral partners. In addition to the normal ones of accountants, CPAs, lawyers, tax people, those are the general ones. But more specifically, if I can get in front of a group of 20 or 30 people and give a presentation, 20 or 30 people walk out more educated, and 4 to 6 are going to say, wow, I really need that personal help. And that's where I'll get clients. But I do the presentations completely for free.
Fantastic, Chris. Now that we know more about what Chris does, and if we've not already had a coaching call with him, please do so. But let's look out for the people he is looking to connect with over the next week. So moving on to our, sorry about that. I don't